Hello, my name is Paul Mazur. I am the former president of Sussex County Community College in New Jersey. I have worked at community colleges in 3 states over a 28-year career. I'm going to tell you what I tell a lot of people. My career was actually accidental. In 1987, I was looking for a part-time job teaching at a community college in order to be able to supplement my income. North Hennepin Community College called me and told me that they didn't have a part-time job, but they did have a full-time temporary position for 1 year. I accepted that position. Now, understand, I had no idea what community colleges were about, but I went into the classroom, and interestingly enough, I discovered that the students in my classes had similar backgrounds to my background. Many of my students, for example, were first-generation college students. I was a first-generation college student. In fact, the only college student in my family at that time, and who managed to complete a degree. Many of my students were low-income students. I also came from a low-income family. My mother and my sisters and I were on welfare for a number of years, and I managed to work my way out of that situation. Many of my students were over the age of 25. And again, I had to begin college all over again when I was 25, after I got out of the Air Force. Being a 25-year-old at a college that had mostly 18 to 22-year-olds presented certain challenges because our life experiences were different. And so I know what it is to try to adjust to that kind of an environment. Throughout my career, I have worked on helping students succeed. And should I become president of the North Carolina Community College System, I intend to have that as a main focus.
Why are you interested in being president of the North Carolina Community College System?
In the 1990s, I was very involved in statewide lobbying activities. I was chair of the Minnesota Community College Faculty Government Relations Committee, and in 1996 I became the lobbyist for the community college faculty and worked with the system lobbyists to get more money for the community colleges, as well as on capital bonding projects and so on. I really enjoyed working at the system level. When I became a dean, I also worked in the Minnesota, we had regular statewide meetings of the dean's level, and we're sharing concerns and developing statewide policies for what we were going to do in statewide cooperative ventures. And I was very interested in doing that. And SUNY was the same way. At the provost and vice president's meeting, we worked together. And in New Jersey, I was involved at both the president's and the community college president's level. So I enjoy working that. I've had my eye on the North Carolina system actually for some time because it's a more structured system than New Jersey. And it strikes me as being more like the Minnesota, maybe even a cross between the Minnesota and the SUNY system. And I have had my eye on that. Had not seen any opportunity until recently, and when the opportunity presented itself, I threw my hat in the ring in the hope that that I would be able to have an opportunity to get this job. So I would be very excited to come to North Carolina and work with you all in the community college system.
If you become president, what would you concentrate on in the first 6 months?
Well, of course, I'll be coming into a new state, and I will be the newbie on the block. And I will have to learn a lot about the system and the culture and the people of the state of North Carolina. And so I expect that during the first 6 months, I'm going to have to learn more about the system and learn more about the state laws and regulations. I'm a quick study, as you can see from the experience that I've had in the Minnesota and SUNY systems. And so I'll be able to pick up on that really quickly. More importantly is that I'm going to have to start developing the relationships that are necessary to build trust in my leadership. And that's going to mean getting to know the system staff, the board of trustees, the community college presidents, key legislators and their staff, the governor's staff, business leaders, and others who are crucial to advancing the community college mission. And so those will be some of the things that I'll have to do. And then I will also have to step in and begin trying to figure out with the college presidents how we're going to advance the goal that the state has set out, that by 2025 they would like to have 67% of the students in the state with some level of college education. And I think that's a really important goal. There's only 9 years to 2025. Higher education moves slowly. So we're going to have to jumpstart that in order to be able to try to see what we can do to help them meet that goal.
From your understanding of national educational trends, what would you say are the most critical issues facing the North Carolina community college system in the next 5 years?
I think there are a couple of trends that we're going to need to pay attention to. One is completion. This relates to that 67% goal that the state has. Completion has always been a problem in community colleges because we have students who transfer out before they get their degrees. We have students who come in only to take a few courses for a program or for work that they're doing. And I think it's going to be really important that we concentrate on that completion agenda. I think we're going to have to work with faculty and college presidents to structure programs and courses that are much more defined so that students know exactly what kind of courses they have to take and when they have to take them. I've found that limiting options is often that community college students actually like the idea of limited options for what they're doing. And so I think that's going to be really important. I think it's going to be important to keep up with online education, with the online courses, because students are working a lot these days and they need flexibility in scheduling as well as other opportunities to complete on time. A second thing is that I think we really need to make sure that we know what students really need in terms of both skills and in terms of delivery. And I've just spoken a little bit about delivery, but in terms of skills, I still like to advocate for a broad-based education. I think that many of the new jobs and many of the new industries coming up, we don't know what they're going to be. And I think that a broad-based education that helps students become good at analysis, become good at problem solving, help them think on their feet. Anything that we can do to give students these kinds of skills is going to help them in their larger career. I also think that we're going to have to keep up with workforce developments so that the training we do provide is state-of-the-art current training for jobs that are out there. We're going to have students dropping in and out of college at different times in their lives. Some may come just to take a few courses to get a leg up in their work and then drop out again, and then a couple years later their work changes and they have to come back and take some other courses. We need to keep up with those kinds of trends. I also think we need to keep up with the diversity trend. One of the problems in general in higher education is the lack of diversity on staffing. And I think it's going to be very important that we find ways to increase the diversity of the staff to meet the diversity that already exists in our student body. And I think that's very important. I know in the past I have used what is now called the Rooney Rule, which is to require search committees to have a minority or women in the pool of people that they are going to interview. And finally, I think we need to position ourselves to attract more students who are wary of the cost of a four-year college degree and the debt that they're going to have. And I think we need to target our marketing and make sure our facilities and programs are up to speed. I want to thank you all very much for the opportunity to speak with you today. I hope we have the opportunity to talk more in depth in the future. Thank you very much.